NHL DFS slate. I'm going to be brief today. Now, we do have a 10-game slate. It's a nice, healthy slate. We only have a small one tomorrow, but I will just be brief, and we'll do a little bit of hand building just to get a feel for the slate. We like to do that. It helps us maybe see where chalk is, stuff like that. And frankly, it's just fun, and it helps people out who are the hand builders. But then I'll do what I always do, which is build for a single entry using SaberSim. And what we do is we run play-by-play simulations of the games. Then we run a simulation of the contest we're in. In this case, it's a 200-man field, 3-3-3. I play one lineup. Of course, you could play more than that, but we will go about it that way. Then we'll run for FanDuel. It'll give us an idea of how the tools work. And keep in mind, we sell these tools, and we sell them for a great price. So you could get at TrueDFS.com access to everything I'm going to use today, the projections from Sheets, the projections from Goldie, SaberSim, the Paid Analytics tool for DFS and betting. You get all of that for like not much more than you would pay on its own. And then there's like a 30% off your first time payment if you use the promo code NBA2526. It's all caps. So check that out. Like and subscribe. It helps us out. And then I'm going to go just look at projections and see what we can't throw in here. So if we look at projections, what I like to do, and this is something I learned from Sheets, is you kind of take the projections and see who's bunching up in terms of value, because correlation matters so much. And you've got this value score that kind of ranks and makes this projection and ownership and points per dollar and kind of molds it all into one. So Dallas kind of showing up. You get Rantanen and Robinson. Nashville guys coming up with Yossi and Forsberg. You know, it's funny, you've got McKinnon and Matthews on this slate and McDavid, but they're just not, they're not cheap. And then the guys with them aren't cheap. So it's hard to get the correlated stack. Draisaitl, McDavid coming down all the way down here. Ovi's there. Washington's got a big total. They're playing someone really weak. Yes, Seattle on the back-to-back. They got crushed by Philly last night. Take a look. I finished second in the 3-3-3 last night with the Philly stack, so that was nice. So, a little Pittsburgh coming in here. So let's see if we do like Dallas, what we could fit in. You want to go Rantanen, of course. Rantanen's getting a ton of ice time. Look at this. 24 minutes, 21. Looking good. Get Jason Robertson in there. We're going to need some value somewhere, but let's see what the rest of Dallas looks like. Now, keep in mind, the fact that we're doing this in can probably makes them like pretty chalky. So Robertson is with Johnson and Bork. Rantanen's with Hintz and Sagan. Hintz is on the power play. Johnston's on the power play. No full power play correlation. Probably want to get the quarterback in there. So we'll get Miro Heiskanen. Now, I do like playing five-man stacks in general. What's up, Eagles? How's it going? Who do you like today? You know, I like to get these full five-mans in, but especially on these big slates. The bigger the slate, the more likely there are to be outlier performances that you kind of need. So I like the idea of the onslaught. Let's see what happens. I mean, if we get, they're not that cheap. Hint's a little cheaper than Johnston. You take two center spots. Okay. We get 4,800 a man. Let's see what goalies look good. From a value point, Bobrovsky, he's 8,200 though. Look at Swayman looking pretty good at 72, and Ullmark against Edmonton. Boston. Boston's got Florida. Yeah, they're not that big underdogs, right? Florida takes shots. So we'll save a little there with Swayman. Now we're going to we got 4,000 a man. So let's see, like point per dollar, what you could do. Evangelista up on power play 1 with Blankenberg out in Nashville. Looks pretty good. the top point per dollar play per Goldie's projections as of right now. Let's plug him in. Can we get any correlation with Nashville? Any good like D-men? Brady Shea. It's Willsby. Let's see if there's any other Nashville. Yeah, Shea's coming up as a pretty good value. So you correlate Shea. I wonder if they're on power plays together, like the power play 2. Let's see here. Nashville's got a solid total against Anaheim. We got Evangelista. Oh, we said he was on 1, right? Yeah. Shea's on 2. So they're probably not going to share ice time together in there, but they will in the even strength. Shea probably getting good minutes. Yeah, 20, 23 minutes a game. We get a little more with Blankenberg out. I think they were going 11-7. So they're 11-6. It should increase his ice time. So we could get him in there. Now we have 5,600. What could we do? Sort by fantasy points. Can't get Barzell. You can do Raquel. Sorry, Raquel, Tom Wilson, Palmieri. I mean, you pick your poison. So there's a lot you could do with Dallas. A lot you could do. But they're going to be chalky. They're going to be owned. See if there's any, like if there's anyone kind of coming up from a value score that's got less ownership. Pittsburgh getting some love too. Saberson's got this totally different than Goldie. So we'll see as things go throughout the day. Nice. Yeah, Philly got me. I got second in the 3-3-3. I had Eichel at the end. I was down 5 points. If he took a shot and got the shot bonus, I would have lost by like a hair if he had another shot on goal. If he got something, they had 2 empty netters, or not 2 empty. Barbashev scored with Eichel on the ice, but it was a breakaway, so he didn't get the apple. And then Eichel, there was an empty netter with Eichel on the ice. I think he took the face off, but pucks just sort of bounced around, and a couple other, I think Theodore and Marner touched it before. Maybe it was Hurdle or scored or someone. It wasn't Eichel on the apple. If he got that assist, I would have got the 5 points and taken first. So it was a fun sweat. A little heartbreaking at the end, but you needed one more event from Eichel, and it just didn't quite happen. But fun nonetheless. I'll take second. Playing single entry, playing 1 entry, not bad. I'm happy with it. Let's see if there's anyone else. Islanders kind of showing up as good values. They're going to be chalky too, right? Yeah, 10% on a 10-game slate. Barzell. Islanders could make some noise though, right? I mean, they got San Jose, and they're cheap. Are they correlated too? I mean, they look like a nice play. Maybe we go somewhere less chalky. Like, what if we went... Yeah, Nashville's going to be high owned. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to get that high owned. What does Sabersim have on the Pittsburgh ownerships? Yeah, I mean, under 10%. So I don't know. I'm kind of feeling a low owned, well priced stack. Crosby, Raquel, Rust, full correlation. Carlson and Malkin. Prices are decent. They're not a good team, but they could score. Seems like defense goes first in hockey. Rust, Raquel, Carlson. Do we want to go swimming? What's their goalie like? 7,600 for Seelovs. We could correlate them. Now we've got a lot. I mean, now you could do the Evangelista, and you could do a lot more. Look at that. You could throw Roman Yoshi in. That's nice. I mean, saving money, it's there's something to be said for it, right? I mean, you need a lot more out of Dallas than you do out of Pittsburgh. It's the same thing. I mean, Philly got 5 goals. We only had 3 of them. But 3 goals, 3 correlated goals at their prices yesterday was enough. You know, if Pittsburgh goes over the total and these guys score 3, I don't know. So there's something you could do with it. Then you have 4,700 a man. You could see what you get. You get guys, good guys. So I don't know. I'm kind of into that. It's not like they're projecting poorly either. And the ownership, we'll see if the ownership gets there. But right now, I don't know. There's a bit of a discrepancy. I don't think they're going to be that high owned, just from what I heard, but we'll see. But that's a kind of single entry kind of idea. Let's build and see where SaberSim gets us. I'm going to switch over to Goldie's projections. I'll switch to his ownership just so we could compare ownerships. And then we want to get all kind of onslaughts in here. I'm not accepting less than that. I mean, I could. It's not like there aren't plus EV lineups the other way, but I'm not going to end up playing them. I want to build my pool with as many lineups to grade as I'm going to play. If we get 1,000 less correlated lineups in here and some grade well, but 800 don't, we wasted 800 of our 5,000, almost 20%. That's not a lot, 5,000. Build millions of lineups on a 10-game slate. So I don't know. It's going to go slow with those demands, but that is okay. I don't think there's too much news to check. Shout out to the Stochastic guys. I heard them earlier. They made mention of like Granlund needing to see if he's skating on line 1 for Anaheim because it adds some correlation to the power play. So shout out to them for calling that out. They are on top of things. I recommend checking out our stuff and the tools we show off, but there's a lot of good info out there. Slow. That's okay. We'll let it build. I've got a couple on FanDuel. We'll build for the flagship on FanDuel. Maybe we'll take a look at how I graded with my 333 yesterday. Hopefully my Sklansky bucks were as good as my real bucks. Avs won. Eagles, yeah. I mean, Avs one's awesome. It's McKinnon. But let's see how pricey they are. Let's see what we could do if we play them. The one late game too. That's fun. Natchez, Lehkonen. Okay, we're gonna have to spend down places. Let's get Swayman again. I mean, now you have 3,900 a man, Eagles. Obviously, look, you can't go wrong with Colorado 1, but it's tough to fit them in. You know, what else can you could throw in Olofsson. He's kind of cheap, right? Yeah, so throw in Olofsson to save. That gets a little better. Is there any D guys showing up as a good points per dollar in Colorado and we're not going to be able to fit Makar. One really showing up here. Malinsky at 2,700. Like you could correlate him. We're going to have to play some cheapos, so I'd rather just correlate them and try and get them there that way. Then we could go back to the top points per dollar thing with Evangelista. Obviously, we're not going to put him in the utility. We'd put Natchez there, whoever. Now you got 5,400. Now you could do it again. Put Yoshi and a 4,200 guy. I'm not saying you have to do it that way. You know, you could find a good center Who was it that looked good and it was like somewhat decent price? Horvat, yeah, he's not that cheap. So yeah, I don't know. I don't love Colorado or Utah today. Eagles. I like both teams. I think both of them can score, but they're gonna have to do an awful lot at these prices, especially Colorado. But Utah ain't cheap either. If you get to these guys in one-offs, I think it works. But I don't know. I'm leery. I don't love the spend ups. They need to do so much to get there. Edmonton, I think that's similar to Colorado. I mean, they're going to be a little cheaper, but what is it? McDavid, Draisaitl, and Podkolzin. Can you get Bouchard? I like him better than Colorado. Can you get, is it RNH? Who's on the power play? No. Is it? Yeah, it's RNH. Can you get, you can get like kind of most of the power play. Who's the other guy on Edmonton's power play? I don't have it off the top of my head. Yeah, Podkolzin. Is it Mangiapane? Savoy. Okay. That's kind of cool. Just the total onslaught. Or you could take off Podkolzin, but you don't have to. We could use him. You could get a Heiskanen. Yeah, I mean, I think Edmonton's playable. Their power play is awesome. I think you could do it. There's enough value there. I like that a lot better than Colorado. You're still going to need a lot out of them at these prices. McDavid and Draisaitl are expensive. The rest of them are pretty fair. Bouchard's a great price at $6,800. But yeah, you need your value guys to hit, including the value goalie. What are they like? Boston probably like 40% to win. Let's see. NHL. Not that like winning's the only way you can get there, especially at that price, but yeah. Okay. I'm much more into Edmonton than Colorado, Eagles. Much more into Edmonton than Colorado. Let's see what my top ROI lineup is in the 3-3-3. Run a sim. So just by Saber score, it's Dallas. What does that tell you about chalk? Oh, I'm vindicated. Pittsburgh, Maverick Bork, Austin Matthews. Look at that. Pittsburgh coming up here too. As my top ROI stack, the onslaught. Though we asked for only onslaughts, but it's the 6-man onslaught. The true onslaught. You add in Witherspoon. Let's see what the top 10 looks like. You get a Chalky or Nashville in there. This is Portfolio Manager, though. I want to rank by uniques just to see what the top ROI ones look like. Let's see if it's all Pittsburgh. Look at all that Pittsburgh. SaberSim in the early part of the day. Loving some Pittsburgh. Look at Columbus there. Columbus and Pittsburgh. Correlating the goalie for ultimate leverage against Dallas. So I liked Pittsburgh. SaberSim right now likes Pittsburgh for the 3-3-3. If it were right now, I'd rack them and go for it. See what happens. Let's see. Let's build for FanDuel. Remember, you can get all these tools at TrueDFS.com. NBA 25, 26, all caps, gets you 30% off. You get a lot of stuff. You get a lot of stuff with a sub that you don't get anywhere else. It's got to be the most robust package in the industry. And it doesn't cost much more than like SaberSim will cost you alone. So I highly recommend it. We're going to make some similar demands as stacks. We're running for the flagship, so we want a lot of correlation. 4-mans, 4-2s and above. I don't even know if I love 4-2, but fine. Let it be so. 10 games, but not a lot of news to look out for in this slate, which is nice. I like to always keep monitoring that, but don't have to work so hard on it with today's slate. Look at there's a good Toronto Jersey game. Low totals, a lot of firepower. Jack Hughes hasn't been lighting it up. He's kind of cheap for what his potential is. Washington with the super high total. I imagine they get owned. The price is not there, though. They're just not showing up as values. But, Ovi, a lot of minutes. Washington's been scoring like crazy. They've got the great matchup, so not a bad spot. St. Louis probably makes some sense from a price point perspective. Ottawa's kind of, the total's not bad, but I don't think the prices are right. But, the one you called out, Eagles, Edmonton, is the one kind of lower owned spend up that I would consider. We saw what we could do with it. It kind of makes sense. We could go back and see what SaberSim, like the highest graded Edmonton is. Let's get the diversifier here going for a 150 max FanDuel flagship. I'll look at them like this. All right. So what's diversifier doing? It's saying, look, these are the best ROI lineups, but you don't want all the best ROI lineups. You want some lower ROI lineups too, that maybe have some chalkier teams or something like that, but that they hit more often, they cash more often, and they're going to keep you alive a little bit more often, as opposed to those, top ROI, higher leverage ones that, are hit less frequently. When they do, they win more. You want to have them in your portfolio, but you don't want them at such a rate, right? Because we're trying to stay alive in such a high variance game like DFS. So let's take a look. Here you get Colorado on FanDuel with the softer pricing. Islanders, Nashville, Vancouver, Edmonton, 10% Colorado. But they are in our top lineup there. A lot of Islanders, Nashville, Vancouver coming up. I didn't expect that, but the total's right against Pittsburgh. Vancouver and Pittsburgh right there. Now, if I'm playing $300 worth of Pittsburgh on DraftKings, there's some question of how much I want to have on FanDuel. That's always tough to do because Portfolio Manager doesn't know that I'm playing both sites. So that's really something you got to look out for and kind of ask yourself how your portfolios work together, or just have separate bankrolls, which is what I would do, because I can't solve that math problem on my own. That's why I have SaberSim, and you can have it too. But there you have it. Maybe tomorrow we'll go over some betting. Oh, we want to look at, let's see. Let's just see how I graded. I'm not going to go through the whole back testing, kind of not back testing, but looking at old contests like we did the last couple of days. I will do it either tomorrow or I'll do it on Friday. But today I'm just going to look at the top shelf, see how I graded. Here I am in second place, 16% sim ROI. Pretty good Sklansky bucks there. Not the best, but beating the field. I will take it. Let's see what these stacks look like. Mostly onslaughts at the top, but then you can get the 4-3s in there. Nothing less than that, though. What's grading terribly? 3-3s, 3-2-2, 3-3. Correlate, guys. In the long run, you make a lot more money. Correlation is king. I mean, you don't even, just looking at the top, you get the onslaughts, you get the 4-3s. You don't have a 4-2 anywhere in sight. Where's the first thing below a 4-3 in terms of sim ROI? Here. Konechny, Couturier, Michkov. It's the 4-man Philly. Philly graded well. And it's Squid. Okay. So there you have it. I'm happy I did well in my my EV, and I got paid in real life with the second place. I'm happy about it. Could have taken first, but oh well. So we did some thoughts on hand building. If you're into that kind of thing, we did some building on SaberSim using the play-by-play sims and the contest sims. We did it for DraftKings. We did it for FanDuel. And yeah, there you have it. We found what we liked in the early going. Pittsburgh kind of looking nice. We'll see if that holds. And if you do end up playing them, good luck with Pittsburgh tonight or whoever you do play. And let's get some money.